Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Eddie in Reading Land. My name is Eddie and today I'm going to bring you a review of the Cucoloris Tarot by Masa Kuzuki. Okay guys, so like I said, today I will bring you a review of the Cucoloris Tarot by Masa Kuzuki, and this is actually a request by one of my viewers, and their name is Acorn Moon. So I'm really happy to do this review and flip through because I really like this deck and I feel like it's very unique. But I do have my trusty notes over here, so in case I don't forget anything. But let's see. The first thing that I wanted to say about this tarot is that it's actually a little bit high in the price range, guys. I do remember that I had to save from my job so that I was able to get this deck because it was high in the price range. It is totally worth it in my opinion, and I did check the link of the deck and it's still available, and it is at a more affordable price right now, so that's amazing. I will say that I think that there are not very many of them available right now, but as in any case, it is a lot cheaper than when I bought it, but it's still, at the current price, it's still very high in my opinion. But yes, Masa, the artist of the deck, wanted to create a childlike version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I believe this is about his second or third tarot deck that he created using this technique with silhouettes. But I did check out his prior work, and this one was the one who actually called to me. And yes, probably because I'm biased towards teal, since teal is my favorite color. But also, I found that the art is a lot more whimsical, and I like dim colors. I like the gray tones that Masa worked with on this tarot. Let's see. I also really enjoy the spiral work in this tarot deck, guys. In just a few minutes, I will show you. I will go through a whole flip through of the deck for you guys so that you can see what I mean. But all of the images actually have spirals, and spirals are really important to me. They show up in my work. I've been drawing spirals since I was very little. I remember doodling them on my notebooks and in school. But yes, the art is exceptional, and I really enjoy it. The pictures are very pleasant to look at. The colors are very pleasant to look at. And oh, maybe I should actually tell you guys what a Cucoloris is, because when I first heard of the word, I didn't know what a Cucoloris was. A Cucoloris is basically a light modifier for casting shadows or silhouettes, like in the case of this tarot deck. This tarot deck is all silhouettes and various grades of silhouettes. It also make the background. It's beautiful. I really enjoy using this deck. I will have to say though that the way I work with this deck is when I'm doing daily draws, I don't pull just one card. Meanings in the for the card get a little bit fuzzy, and by that I mean it makes me wonder and it makes me dubious as to what the meaning of the card is. How I learned to do daily draws with this tarot was by actually taking two cards. This deck is a storyteller. This deck likes to tell stories, and that's how it likes to shine in daily draws and also in readings for clients, and also for what I actually use this tarot deck, which is for inner child work. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So when I do daily draws with this deck, I will draw two cards because drawing just one card makes my head a little fuzzy. So that's what I'll do when I am working with clients and I'm using this deck. this is actually an excellent deck with just a 3-card spread. It shines beautifully with just 3 cards. I am uncertain why, but if, for example, if I decide to take 1 or 2 more cards for that spread, again, it has a tendency of making me feel fuzzy, of making the reading feel fuzzy for me. 3 cards is just enough for this deck to tell a story, and it's fascinating to see clients reacting to this deck, because this deck is not scary. This deck is actually very, very soothing. It's actually very peaceful, very calming. It has a calming effect on other clients. I remember using this deck for client readings when I was working at the the bookstore that I worked before. I took this deck once, and the readings were actually pretty accurate and very chatty. I ended up having a chatty conversation with the clients that were there that day for the reading. So it's really enjoyable for client readings. I haven't used this deck for client readings in a while now. Probably it's been months now since I've used this for client readings, but it is very good. If you guys do consider purchasing this deck and doing client readings with it, I do advise to keep it just 3 cards. I know it sounds like very little, but it will tell a really, really expansive and detailed story. And yeah, I guess that's what I'll say about client readings. But for what I use this tarot specifically, it's for inner child work. This deck is excellent for that, and just like for client readings and for daily draws, the least amount of cards that you draw for this deck will be better, or from this deck will be better. This deck actually made me aware of relationships from my childhood that I needed to just step away from, just take miles away from them, and let them go. But this deck also made me aware of relationships from my childhood that I should nourish and pursue even further, continue on with those relationships. And it really made a difference for me when doing that. Inner child work is something that I do very sporadically, but this is the deck that I will use for that. And it always gives me answers that perhaps I wasn't aware of or hadn't thought about it in any way. Inner child work for me is quite, and I'm sure that it's probably this way for most people as well, but inner child work for me is incredibly melancholic, and I genuinely don't like doing it. I have done it, and I do it because I feel like it's a great tool for developing, especially in your present situation, and also into moving forward to the future. But as in any case, it's still a great collection deck. It'll be great for your collection. It'll add a lot of whimsy to your collection. This deck is very whimsical. I like it. I like that from this deck. You're gonna see that in the art in a little while for the flip through. But okay, so talking about the box, it is a very sturdy box, and as you guys can see, it is teal, and there it is. This is the special version White Knight. There are 3 versions of this tarot, I believe. The other ones are, I believe it's a day version, and then there's a normal version. I am not very sure. Should have researched a little bit better. But yes, so, and this is also deck number 254 of 500. I will say that it is a 2-piece box, as you guys can see, but it is a little flimsy. So this will just like fall right out of right out of the box. But the box is signed by Masa. And oh, there it is again. There. I didn't notice that it had a number over there too. Okay. But yep. Okay, let's see. And that's the inside of the box. Nothing very special, just white. But here is the deck. And here are the gorgeous backs. Okay, let me see if I can pull this a little bit closer. Closer, closer, closer. Let's see. Let me move this over here on this side. Okay. Let's go with that, guys. These are the really pretty backs. The cardstock is actually my second favorite. It is a little glossy, almost matte, but as you guys can see, it's catching the light a little. But it photographs amazing. The cardstock is actually flexible. It's amazing for riffle shuffling. I have riffle shuffled this deck and it's still holding its shape. So that's amazing. I really like it. The cards do feel a little bit, what's the word? Stiff or inflexible, but it actually isn't. It holds its shape, and I really, really like it. This is the title card, guys. It is also a little bit taller than your regular Rider-Waite Smith. This is the Sean Cost Tarot, but as you guys can see, it is a little taller. Now I have small hands, so this is a little bit difficult for me to riffle shuffle, and so I just ended up shuffling the usual normal way. But okay, so there it is. So that's the title card for the deck, and let's see if I can change this for something. There we go. I think that's going to be better. That light's better, guys. Okay. So let's start with the flip through, guys, because this deck is really, really, really beautiful. I really, really, really enjoy it. Oh, and by the way, this deck also has extra cards. They are mentioned in the guidebook. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to talk a little about the guidebook so that you guys can see it. Here's the guidebook. It's your typical little white book. It unfortunately doesn't have a lot of information on the cards. As you guys can see, it's just a very small paragraph, and it sort of describes the art, but it doesn't really go into detail on the symbology and why Masa decided to depict the card in that way. So if you guys are going to use this deck and it's going to be one of your first decks, you're gonna have to get another book, better workbook for to use for this deck, because this will only give you very, very few details and very few keywords, and the keywords are not very good, guys. They're very basic. So yeah, that's the guidebook. Okay, so let's start with the walkthrough. This is our Fool, and the colors are actually dimmer than they look. These colors are a little bit bright on the camera for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but they are dim and grayish. I just love this. Will looks so cute. As you guys can see, there's a lot of whimsy and there's a lot of spirals everywhere, like I was saying before. So this deck is really enjoyable to me to look at. It does tend to be a little slippery, not too much, but it is a little slippery. Here's our Magician. I feel like this deck would be actually very good for children if they want to start reading tarot. This would be a really great tarot because there are not confronting images. This is our really beautiful High Priestess. And I love the spirals again. They're just everywhere, and enjoy looking at that very much. Here's our Empress. So like I was saying, I believe that children will learn very well with this tarot. They are not confronting or scary images in the tarot at all. Even the Devil, the Tower, and the Death card, or the Ten of Swords, or it just looks very, very childlike, very simple, very, very weak is not the word. Very soothing, very peaceful. I love this Chariot card. It's so cute. I feel like this is like a version of the Chariot that is very playful, and that is also, it looks like a toy, like you're riding on a toy, so I really enjoy that. Here's our very beautiful Strength card. I really like the expression on the lion. He looks so cute. Here we have our very beautiful Hermit. I do enjoy the spiraling in the background and also in the robe. It's very pretty. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. Very atypical, but that's why I like it. Here's our Justice card. Now, I really, really enjoyed this Justice card because, as you guys can see, the main focus of the image is the scales. And to me, that's very important for the Justice card. I like a Justice card where the scales actually shine. Here we have our playful Hangman. And see what I was saying about the Death card? This looks so playful. This looks so whimsical, and the Death card actually looks like he's happy. Here's our Temperance. And here's our very, very, very naughty Devil. I really, really like this Devil. I love the expression on their faces. They're like, really, dude? Really? You're doing this? Here's our Tower. Just makes me giggle every single time. And even though it makes me smile and giggle, the more serious and negative meanings of the cards still translate very well into the readings. So it's not a toxic positivity sort of deck. It stays very real within its own within its own world, within its own feeling. So gorgeous star. A very, 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 very bright moon. I really, really enjoy this. Here we have a sun. Now, typically I don't like children in the sun card, but this with the rocking horse, it's just so playful. Here we have our Judgment card. I like the fact that we don't have the people coming out of the ground or anything like souls. It's more plant growth coming out of the trumpet. I really, really, really like that. And here's the globe instead of the world. This is a fascinating representation of the world. This is not the original card that comes in the deck. This is one of the extra cards. So you will see the original world in a little bit. But I chose this because it is just such a different depiction of the world. And I actually don't mind that Masa changed the name to the globe. It makes sense. It still reads world to me, but I do enjoy the duplicity aspect of the world. It makes me think about things that are ending and things that are beginning. So there's still a cycle here. But it's just a different aspect and a different representation of the world that I think is very unique and original. Okay, so on to the minors. Here's the A's. This reminds me of Jack and the Beanstalk so much. Here we have our 2. Our very beautiful 3 of Wands. I love dandelions, especially when they're depicted in the tarot. It's dandelion seeds and dandelion heads. It's a symbol that really works for me in a lot of levels in the tarot, but especially for the 8 of Wands. Here we have our 4. Maybe I should tell you guys why I feel that way. Here's the 5. I like dandelions for the 8 of Wands because it's a different sort of swiftness. It's a different sort of movement that happens when dandelion seeds blow in the air. It's a lot smoother, it's a lot smoother, it's a lot more cohesive and organized. I feel like it is very seldom that we get to see an aspect of the 8 of Swords that's not very, that's actually very quick and very fast. It is fast energy. The eight of Wands, it is that fast energy, but it's also the fulfillment of your will, the fulfillment of your passion, the fulfillment of your inspiration. And I feel like sometimes it could have a slower pace sort of feeling, and the dandelions work very hard, work very well for me. Also because so here we have the 8 of Wands. I would prefer that the meteors, or the meteorites actually, would be going up, but I understand the symbology here. The other reason why I like the dandelion for the 8 of Wands is because dandelions will spread and grow somewhere else. So they're taking that energy, they're taking that fire with them somewhere else and spreading it, and I really enjoy that. Okay, here we have our 9, and this is our 10 of Wands. That's also very original to me. I really like that this deer is being weighed down by its own horns, as if to say that the burdens that he's carrying is for his choice, or due to his choice. Here we have our Page, our Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands. I love the little kitty over here. I will say the court cards look like children dressed as adults, which is I think what Masa was going for. This is giving me very sorcerer sort of vibes, which I really like for the King of Wands. Okay, on to the chalices. Okay. Chalices on this deck are flowers. Here's our 2 of chalices. I really like this representation of the 2 of chalices. The fact that they're both floating or flying towards each other, I really like that. 3 of chalices. Okay, and here we have our 4. He looks a little bit more despondent than I would like for a 4 of cups or 4 of chalices, but I still really enjoy this image, especially this little bug over here trying to soothe him by giving him another flower. Our 5. I really like this 6 of chalices. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's an apple silhouette. Well, I choose to believe it's an apple. I'm not, but it could be a pumpkin. I really, really, really like this Seven of Chalices. For some reason, the image of this girl or this woman looking into a mirror and seeing how her future self can look like if she makes the right choices is very, very powerful to me. I really, really like this. This is a very unique take on the Seven of Chalices. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Eight of Chalices. I have had enough of you. That's the vibe that it's giving me. Here we have our very open arm Nine of Chalices. Oh, I really enjoyed this image. I like the openness. Our 10. But as you can see, guys, it's very Rider-Waite-Smith, and the symbology is still there, even though it's treated differently. Here we have our page. Our Knight of Chalices. Our very beautiful Queen. See what I mean about it looks like children that are dressed up as adults? I like the little whale over here in the background. Okay, so here we have the Ace of Swords. This is a very unique take on the Ace of Swords. I really like this representation. For some reason, it's working for me. It's as if he's writing on the idea as if he was a writer. So, and I mean writer as in horse rider, not writer as in author. Here we have our very incredible Two of Swords. I like the scissors. In this, it's a very striking image. Here we have our 3, which is very typical for the Three of Swords. We have our 4. I like the little swirlies in the soil. Our 5. Our 6 of Swords. Okay, so this 6 of Swords I really, really enjoy for various reasons. I like reading the 6 of Swords as science, and this is very scientific to me. He looks like an inventor that's taking his ideas and his inventions somewhere else so that he's able to put to practice what he's learned and put his experience to the test. So I really, really, really enjoy this. This makes total sense to me. And I also enjoy the fact that we still have that journey sort of element to this. So we get to read the card in various ways and it still works out. So I really, really, really like this. Here we have our 7. This is Pinocchio. It has to be Pinocchio because his nose even has little leaves over here growing. So I choose to believe it's Pinocchio. Here we have our 8 of Swords. Love the spider. I like spider imagery in tarot as well. 9 of Swords. See what I mean about more negative cards being depicted in a more soothing, a more approachable sort of way. This is one of those examples. I really, really like it. And this 10 of Swords is just amazing. I was really inspired by this 10 of Swords, and for my tarot I did something similar. I will show you guys eventually, but if you guys want to see more of my sketches for my tarot, I have my Instagram link down below. You can go and check them out over there. I have them all posted. Once I finish with one, I always post it. Here's our Page of Swords. I love the butterflies just fluttering around. Here's our very, very heroic Knight of Swords. I like that the knight is actually moving towards something. Actually, all of the knights are doing that, I believe. I'm not really sure about the Knight of Pentacles because he tends to be more patient and more sturdy and steady. Here we have our Queen of Swords. Really, really enjoy this. Onto our King. He looks really stern and disciplined. Okay, and lastly, we have our Pentacles. Here we have the Ace. I love the playfulness in the Ace of Pentacles. It makes total sense. I like that they're also... This looks like a fruit. I believe it could be an orange, but it could be something else. Here we have our very whimsical 2. Our 3. So... You know, you would think that this immediately doesn't translate as teamwork, but it makes sense that, for example, they were all responsible to make these grow in a way, and they're actually contemplating their growth. So it works for me. Here we have our very selfish 4. And our 5 of Pentacles. This 5 of Pentacles resonates with me because, as you guys can see, the pentacles are actually empty spaces in the trunk of the tree. That is like windows allowing you to see what's on the other side. It's very profound, very philosophical in a way, and I really, really like it. Here's our 6 of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. A very mechanical steampunk sort of 8, which I really, really like. A 9 of Pentacles. I just really, really enjoy the fact that her dress is a cage and there are these fruits that are growing from her. It's just, it works for the 9 of Pentacles. Here we have our 10. Our Page. The Knight of Pentacles. So it's slowly going somewhere. Our Queen with the iconic rabbit over here. It looks more like the Queen of Hearts. And our King of Pentacles. Okay, but this is not all, guys. There are alternative versions of cards, and there are also extra cards, which I'm going to show you right now. But first, I'm going to have something to drink. By the way, I'm just drinking water. That's the only thing I drink. Well, plus coffee and tea. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Okay. So let's see. There we go, guys. So we have an alternative version of the Empress. There it is. Also another version of the Lovers. The reason why I didn't pick this Lovers was because I don't like this bug over here. Not because I don't like bugs. I actually am really fond of bugs. Bugs and insects and creepy crawlers. But it was removing me from the fantasy of the Lovers. So that's the reason why I didn't pick this Lovers card. Here we have our Justice. So the reason why I did not choose this Justice card was because, as you guys can see, the scales are very, very small, and it seems like the whole focus of the image is the silhouette of this person and these curtains over here. I like the moon and the sun, and it totally works for me for the Justice card, but I do prefer bigger scales on the Justice card. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune, another version of it. The only reason why I didn't go with this Wheel of Fortune, even though it's extremely beautiful, it was because the other one had spirals and this one doesn't. Well, I mean it does, but the other one had more spirals than this one, I should say. Here we have our Strength card. Now, this is a very different Strength card, and I actually really enjoy this image a lot. I like the fact that we have a character who's slaying a sort of draconic creature. But to me, Strength represents either taming or accepting your beast self, not destroying it or hunting it. That is a totally different vibe from the Strength card that I like or appreciate. So that was the only reason why I didn't choose this one. Here we have our Temperance. This Temperance card, although it's very beautiful, the other one was far more lavish, and it had more shrubbery around, so more spirals. That's the only reason why I chose the other one. We have our star. So again, lovely image. The only reason why I didn't choose this star card was because the other ones seemed to be falling, and she had the stars on her hair. That was a more striking image for me than this one. Here we have our Sun. So the only reason why I didn't choose this card was because the other one makes me giggle even more than this one. So, but this one's an excellent Sun card. I really like it. We have our Judgment card. So, I am not fond of the Judgment card calling the people from under, well, in this case, the water, but under the earth even. So, that's the only reason why I didn't choose this one. Here we have our World, and like I mentioned before, this World card is actually amazing. I really love this image, but the globe was far more interesting and fascinating and unusual. This seemed more like a Rider-Waite-Smith, and so I decided to switch it to see what would happen with my understanding and my keywords, just a little to challenge myself. Okay, so here we have our more usual 10 of Wands. It looks like he's carrying more of a burden than he is able to. Again, a really striking image, but I think I empathized better with the deer and the horns, and it just, you know, the horns weighing him down. So it made better sense for me. Here we have another Two of Chalices. I don't know. I didn't like the fact that the couple was in a tub. But they do seem sad instead of willing to connect. There seems to be a disconnect here. So that's why I chose the other one. There was more connection there than in this one. And here we have the alternative version of the Ace of Swords. Again, very beautiful image, but it seems more humorous, and it like the bug on the Lover's card. It really detached me from the feel of the tarot in a way. And here we have the Five of Pentacles alternative. I just like the other amorphous, anthropomorphized creatures in the deck than these people. Okay, and then we have 2 extra cards, and here we have the Cucoloris. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Why is it doing that? Sorry guys. There we go. Focus. Yay. Okay. Here you have the Cucoloris. And we also have the White Knight. I decided not to add these cards to the deck because I didn't feel like they made sense for the deck. So that was the only reason why. Okay, and then we have 5 more cards, I believe. And this one is Alpha, the Modesty. Beta, the Equality. I think this is Lambda, the Amity. Could be Gamma. It's probably Gamma. Because this is Delta, so, and this is the Liberty. And Epsilon, the Innocence. I will say all of these images are very striking, but due to the keywords that Masa decided to use for the cards, they were not landing for me. This one, it was the most like the keyword, I believe, the Innocence. You can see that there's a sort of innocence here, but this card looks more contemplative and questioning, as if wondering about your life and wondering about what's happening. Just, you know, letting your thoughts land as they're going to land in your head and then letting them flow. So the only reason why I didn't choose these cards to go in the deck was for that. They just didn't work out for me with the keywords. If these cards were just named the Greek letters, I would probably have added them to the deck so that I would use them for my daily draws. But there it is, guys. This is the Cucoloris Tarot. Again, I really enjoy using this tarot. It is amazing. Thank you so much for Acorn Moon for requesting this video. I am more than happy to do reviews and flip through of decks if you guys ask me to. I really enjoy doing these videos, so this is for you guys. This is for me and for you guys. Let's be honest. But let me know what you think about the Cucoloris Tarot, guys, down in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think about it. Which one was your favorite card? Do you think that if you purchase the deck, would you add the extra cards with it? Or would you just decide to choose, like I did, a certain card and just use the tarot as the normal structure? I want to know what you guys think. Thank you so much for being with me here today on this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, YouTube.